Hello everybody, it's time for a new deck and I'm a little bit late for Torres video, but I've been playing this the last days and yeah, it's been great because it feels like you have unlimited card draw with all the stones and Torres and then also Misery. So usually if you get Loki early and Torres later, you have basically no way to lose because you play their deck but just with low cost cards and you can just get back on a later turn. So the first card is Iceman. I play Iceman here because I think the card is pretty good right now because you want to hit some key cards from your opponent, and also he's pretty good with Torres, and I'd like to have one more 1-drop in here instead of the stones for Torres. So I was trying different stuff, Iceman, Yondu, then of course Nico and stuff. But in my opinion, Iceman, even though you don't see it, you win a lot of games with Iceman, especially if you hit him twice on like a turn 4, for example, and you hit their high power cards. For example, a 5 cost, there will be a 6 cost, or 4 cost, there will be a 6 cost. So that's pretty good. And the second card is King Eitri, and every time I use this card in my decks, I see a lot of people asking me what they should use instead. And I'm surprised that a lot of people didn't get this card, but yeah, apart from I guess Thanos, Loki, and maybe arishem, the card is not that great. So yeah, I can understand it. But you of course can change this card to any 1 cost, and in this deck I would change it to a other on reveal 1-drop, but it will make the deck a little bit worse, but of course it's possible. My best bet is you should change it for Nico because you can have a card draw as well. And then the star card of this deck is of course Loki. You play Loki on 2, especially if you get King Eitri on 1, and for example you draw 2 or 3 stones on the turn 2 and 1 as well. Then it's pretty much game winning for you, and you should snap every time you draw that combo. Especially if you have Torres, for example, as well, you can draw 2 or 3 cards on turn 4, which is usually really good with Loki, and it basically feels like the old Loki, where you change the cards in your hand. So even though you play Loki a little bit too late, but if you have card draws like stones or Eitri in your hand, then you can just get back on the later turns and just win the game. And the next card is Iron Patriot. I think the card is just so OP that he fits in every deck. So in most of my decks, he's just go-to 2-drop for me, because he basically has no downside and he has 2 free stats, which is decent stats for 2 cost card that has a good effect. So every time I want to put in a 2-drop and I need some more stuff to do with a 2-drop, then I put this in. Of course, like other decks, you can change this card to a different 2-drop, whatever you like. I think, for example, Scarlet Witch is always good, even though not a lot of people play her. But then there's also other stuff like Shadow King and some more tech. So you need to decide that, but I think Iron Patriot is just too good to not play. Same goes with Red Guardian. Even though he doesn't really fit the deck, most of our game plan is to play Loki and win anyways. So what I try to do is fit as much tech as I can in this deck, because Red Guardian is still not nerfed and you can win a discard matchup just with this 1 card, for example. Same with ongoing matchups or Mr. Negative matchups. You can play this card and usually win the game, or at least give you a decent boost. And then the other card is Torres. He's here because, like I said earlier, we want to have the 1-drops, or especially our stones, the double effect. So that means if you play 1 stone on it, we get 2 cards drawn, and it's good of course in a Loki deck. For example, if you play Time Stone, you get -2 on you Thanos, or if you play for example Mind Stone on it, then you draw 4 cards, which means you have all your stones in your hand basically. So this is really good, and it fits your deck, and with Loki it's just an insane combo. There's only one thing you need to be careful with this. It's board space and also hand space, but for board space we have Misery, and for hand space, yeah, you need to plan ahead and think about what you want to do. And then Shang-Chi, same with Red Guardian, just a good card that we want to put in our deck because our main game plan is Loki anyways, so we want to, of course, draw Shang as early as possible and then just, keep him in our hand and play him on the last turn. That's the thing I do the most. You can, of course, drop Shang, but I wouldn't think it's a good idea because same as Enchantress, just a good tech card that does basically a lot of stuff and can win you the game on its own. And if we play Loki, we have the ability to play different or strong cards on the last turn with less cost. That means even if we play at 4 cost on turn 5 or 6, we can still play 2 cards, maybe even 3 if we get some 1 costs. So there's basically nothing better you play here. But of course you can play a Galacta, for example, cards that just fit in every deck. So even if you play Loki, that the cards will not be useless. Misery does basically the same thing as Torres, but what I like about Misery in this deck is she will clear up the board space, she will clear up stones we don't need. Most of the games we don't need a space stone, we don't need Mind Stone, for example, on our board. We don't play anything that buffs our 1 costs here, so that means we just destroy our stones and get more board space, and if we play Loki, for example, we get the draws again, which makes Loki on turn 2, on turn 3 or 4, even on turn 4, pretty decent with this Misery combo. And if you play him on Falcon, then you get the double card draw. So that means you get the double on reveal from Falcon, even if you play Misery on it. And then just a no-brainer card, Cull. Cull is just a 4/10. You can of course play other 4 costs here, but I felt we have so many 1-drops in our deck. With Loki we probably get another 1-drop, so it's just a free card to play, and it's just a Thanos card. And I like him right now, he's pretty fun to play because actually a lot of people play 10-drops themselves, but they don't play Shang, so I feel like the card is pretty cheap to play out, and even though he's not the first priority, I usually play him because we need a little bit more power. Same as Mockingbird, just a really strong card, and what I do usually is, if possible, I try to play on turn 3 if I don't have Torres in my hand, and then on turn 4, if possible, I destroy the stones with Misery so I get more board space and new cards in my hand. Also, Mockingbird, of course, works with Loki cards, so if you play Loki early and play cards, that will make the card even cheaper. Most of the games, if you draw her, she's 3 cost, 2 cost, sometimes 0 cost, so she can win a lot of games and just be a good card. And then Thanos, you can play him on 5 with Time Stone. If you give the double Time Stone effect, you can play him on 4. Usually what I do is I don't play him so much because Loki is our main game plan. But of course it's always good to have a 5/10 or 4/10. And of course if you don't draw any stone, 6/10 is not that great. But like a 10 power card in your hand that you can play and you're guaranteed to have in your hand. So sometimes you just need a high power card to win the game on the last turn. And sometimes he gets up to 20 power or even 30 power if you get, for example, a double stone. So that's a really, really good card. And in this deck, it's just super insane. Loki, of course, main game plan. Thanos can still win on his own even without Loki. Iron Patriot gives you another big card, and then you have enough tech to out-tech your opponent. Cull, Misery, still decent stats. Mockingbird, decent stats. Then Red Guardian and Iceman, like I said in the intro, can win you the game even though you don't know it. So sometimes people just leave on turn 2 because you hit their keycards. So check out the gameplay. I won a lot of funny games against Mr. Negatives as well, and then a lot of random generated cards and stuff. And then of course Loki decks. So the gameplay is pretty fun to watch in my opinion, because there's a lot of stuff different than other decks because we play Loki so much. So thanks for watching and see you next time.